they've been put there because of their expertise. If they can do the job and deliver.
Yeah, I mean,
this is not the first time. I can go far back and start mentioning people's names.
Of course.
Yeah, so
it's just that coming.
Oh, really?
But they do forget that journalists are human beings. They do forget that journalists in Ghana are Ghanaians. They do forget that journalists in Ghana also do have Ghana cards.
Yeah.
They do forget that journalists in Ghana also can vote.
Okay.
And if they are going to vote, they'll definitely vote for a preference.
No problem. But
So,
let me ask, so those asking this question, some of them are politicians and stuff. Why is it that when they have news and they want it to go out, they have specific people they talk to? Food for thought. Why do they have specific people they talk to? That's just the question. All the politicians have their go-to, have info. Want to leak, they'll call you. Yo, this is about to go down. Don't say anything yet. Keep your eyes peeled. You know about it. It transcends politics and even gets into sports. Transcends politics and gets into sports. So I personally don't see anything wrong about it. See, I will not say anything. You just continue. But about it.
Let's see what people are saying.
So where do you want me to start from? Next or
Richard Ofori? Richard.
Trending, so I can tell you off the top of my head why he's trending. This video. Now, watch this video carefully with rapt attention. Now, look at the goalkeeper. His name is Richard Ofori. Now, that's Richard Ofori. Takes the ball out and kicks it back in. Saves the ball, comes back, saves it, comes back, has a mini bicycle kick into the goalpost. Now, at this point, the question is, who is Richard Ofori doing all these things for? So a lot of guys are now calling on FIFA to just investigate Richard Ofori.
This guy gave me the best of heart at the last AFCON, whereby I am super. I mean, I don't get it.
Don't worry.
I'm in the stands. We've already scored. We've already scored where we're supposed to score.
2.
I'm in the stands, for crying out loud. I tell a colleague or a friend whom were all part of the whole squad that kindly hold my bag for me. I want to go and buy Sobolo. And Abidjan Sobolo is different from Ghanaian Sobolo. It's a different ball game altogether.
No problem. So you wanted to go and get Sobolo for the solo.
For the you get
nice
it.
Nice one.
And you know, when they're selling the Sobolo, it's not like you walk a distance. It's just close by. Like I can say like 3 steps. I walk 3 steps. Whilst buying the Sobolo, there is a corner. So that means that corner was where he touched the ball. I didn't see it with my eyes. So I'm there. I buy the Sobolo. My eyes are fixated to the corner. The Sobolo, and I hear an uproar. I'm like, what is happening?
Richard Ofori Enterprise.
Oh, Jesus.
So this is the latest one in his...
Is somebody doing him?
Nobody is doing him. Just last week,
hey,
it came out that he had gotten a brand deal with some big perfume company. Chairman was snapping photos and dropping photos and things. So now this is what... Let's get into the comments. The comments there. You get it. Why is someone tagging Ghana police in this? I just saw it. Did I see Ghana police?
Oh boy.
So people are just going on down the video for future reference. Yeah.
Download this.
Yeah, download this because this one there is matter. Now, oh Charlie. They should always do a drug test before football games. Randomly they are done though. Randomly they are done. Hence the reason why Chelsea's Mudryk is not playing football for some time now. and for the foreseeable future.
He was caught?
Yeah, he's been, and he had some banned substances in his urine, so he's been taken out of the system. That's how Pogba also got taken out. So yeah. All right. Okay. So Derrick says not my name, Rich. Okay, no problem. It will be. Saul says the funny thing is you can't even say anything but so anything else.
Did I say anything? I just laughed.
So should he get a call to the national team again?
That's a good question. Very, very good question.
I just want to know, should he? Because this is wonderful. Like, chairman is like, oh. Now it brings the question of Richard Ofori and Onana. That's another line of conversation that people are having. I'm not saying it's there. Former Ghana #1, firstborn of Onana, Richard Ofori, scoring a bicycle kick.
A bicycle kick
against himself.
Oh boy.
Now, I mean, how can you do this? The defender saved it.
No, the thing is, he saved it first. That's he saved the ball first. God have mercy. How can you even tell me the story?
Wait, one last time. Let's check this out. One last, because I can't for the life of me understand this. If everything is okay, so that we know what's what and what's not. Which other one do you want? Just select them so that we get into it.
Please go on. Whichever one you want to put across.
Okay.
That will be fine for us.
Get into the Knicks versus the Pistons. So it's their playoff game in that first round, and it's the Knicks playing the Pistons. A lot of shenanigans has been happening in this particular playoff. However, in the last moments of this particular game to allow the Knicks take a 3-1 lead in the series, there was a no foul call that the referees have, after the game has ended, agreed that no, it should have been a foul. And should that have been a foul, this could have changed to maybe 2-2 in the series. Because it's best of sevens. So they're only going to be playing 7 games. So they've played 4, leaving 3. So should the Knicks win the next one, then it's done. So the referees have come out to say that, okay, we have erred. This is about the 3rd time the referees have come out this playoff season alone. One was for the Golden State Warriors, and the Golden State is playing a stubborn team. They are really cruising over. Let me get their name. Where? I'll get it for you very soon. Golden State, Dub Nation. It's okay. Let's get into it. I'll get it for you. So that's what happened in that particular one, and the Knicks are happy. They are ecstatic. 3-1 in favor for them, and they take it into the next game, which will be happening Wednesday night. So that's why they are trending together with the Pistons. The Pistons feel that they've been hard done by the officiating, but the Knicks are happy with the win. That's what's happening on that side. Now, the Lakers are also trending. Okay, LeBron is trending because we'll get into it much later, but back-to-back defeat for the Lakers in the first round of the playoffs. So should the Timberwolves win the next game, the Lakers will be dumped out of the playoffs at the first round. Yeah, so it's tough. It's hard for them. But talking about game and someone not doing so well. Yes, so the Golden State are playing the Rockets. In that particular one, the second game of the playoff series, there was an incident that could have easily swayed it in another person's favor, but it is going sideways. So the officiating, there's not only in the GPL, it's everywhere, even in the EPL. Yeah. As for La Liga, we don't talk about them. Let's go on. Why? Now, La Liga. Can I say something? I don't understand why La Liga would allow their referees to go and sit at a press conference. Some will end up crying and end up making Real Madrid decide whether to play the football or not. La Liga, please, where have you heard this before? Who is in charge of the Copa del Rey? Why do you do this? Do you know the kind of decisions they take in England? Anthony Taylor, Simon Who. Anthony Taylor was demoted to the championship last season. He went back to the championship, gave some decisions that the fans did not like. They almost beat him up, and they brought him back to the EPL. They almost beat him up in England. Imagine Anthony Taylor coming to sit in front of journalists to answer questions. Hey, come on. They are there to only interpret the law. Do judges go for a press conference? Let's continue. Now, Anthony Edwards. He dropped 43 points. Yeah. In that particular game that saw of the Lakers to help the Timberwolves win. So he dropped 43 points. One person threw 43 points. And you see boys playing a whole NBA game. When you add the two scores, you do 43. Let's continue.
It's the same person that...
Oh, yeah. The same person. Oh, I shouldn't go there.
Same person.
Yeah, same person who had the issues with the baby mama and decided that he would pay all.
I'm hearing the baby mama is saying that it will still not be enough.
No, but I've calculated, we have given you the money. But he has a lot of baby mamas too. That one is the other one. There are other ones as well. Yeah, he's spreading the good word. Anna.
What's happening with Mo Salah? I was a bit with
all right. So
you know he's Muslim, right?
Yeah.
And then when they're celebrating with some champagne and some. So I was quite a bit about it because I was like, this guy shouldn't make his people come after him at the end of the day.
No, maybe it's non-alcoholic.
I don't think it's non-alcoholic. I don't think so.
For instance, in if you're not above a certain, the drinking age for various countries varies. So when you go into a country and you are, let's say, 18, you're a driver, you are 18, and the drinking age in that country is 21, should you get a top 3 spot, in front of you there will be no champagne. The moment you are done receiving your trophy, when the old people are about to pop, they call it the bubbly. When they're about to pop the bubbly, you step away and walk away. Yeah, no longer. Now, but Mo Salah did the unthinkable during the game. When he scored his goal, he went to grab a phone and take a selfie. How? In the middle of the game. As what Tottenham was
his own phone or someone's phone?
No, it's not someone's phone. I think it's a phone. You see, they have media men.
Yeah.
The team's media men around. So I think that's. But this is the shot that he took.
It's a beautiful shot.
Fantastic one. Fantastic.
Beautiful one.
Now he's the foreigner with the most goals in the EPL. I think 185 or so. More than Kun Aguero. He has played for 2 teams in England. That's Chelsea and Liverpool. But for Chelsea, he scored, I think, 2 or so goals. Only. The rest are all
for Liverpool.
Yeah. But would you consider him in the Ballon d'Or conversation?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Is he poised for it?
Oh, for me, he should be.
Does he qualify for it?
He does. Mo Salah for Ballon d'Or. Mo Salah CAF Player of the Year award. No one is fighting this one.
Well, he's African, so.
Yeah. Oh, but
would rally behind him.
I know a lot of guys are not pleased with my tweet, but we move. We move. Anyways, Madrid lost to Barcelona. A lot of shenanigans happening in that game. 3 red cards for Madrid at the end of the game. Referee comes to give funny reasons for all 3 red cards, and I go like, why? Anyways, we'll be back with more sports, but anyways, that's as far as that is concerned with regards to the trends. It's all been sports today, NBA and football.
Well, Sadie, thank you so much, and most definitely, this is still the AM Club on MX24. Let's take a breather. When we come back, Augustine Toussaint is on standby, so we get into our end of stories. We'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
April 2025, gradually drawing to the end of April, but you're welcome to the morning news on the AM Club. My name is Augustine Adam Corrich Saint. Good morning.
Good morning. I should call you, your hairstyle.
This is
Anyways, well, beautiful morning.
Yeah.
A lot of things are happening. ECG says the power outages is by rainstorm.
Yeah.
But we should report any outages because their system cannot detect all the outages in Ghana. And I'm asking, how is it that the system cannot detect that?
So it's possible not all areas are connected to the central system.
No, but why wouldn't that be?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why wouldn't that be? And if you say we should report, through what medium should we report? You just said we should report.
Probably to the nearest ECG office in the area.
We should move all the way there for them to insult us at the end of the day. We've been doing this.
Right.
When something happens, we'll move to the nearest ECG office. Yeah. Report. Nothing is done. We don't hear anything. Then we go back again. Oh, more hardening. Then we go back again.
Same talk without action.
Mahamatu says he's about to inaugurate certain things.
Ejumara. Yeah. He's going to do that later today in the morning. And also, the Otumfuo Seto is also going to begin resume his peace conversations with the leadership in Boko today. It was stated in a letter dated some weeks ago from the palace of Otumfuo stating that on the 28th, that is today, he was going to resume the conversations he was having with regards to restoring peace in Boko. So today, quite a number of things would be happening. And also, there's set a Galamsey demonstration on Friday. An injunction to halt the demonstration by the Ghana Police Service was withdrawn by an Accra High Court, given clearance that the demonstration can occur later today at 4 p.m. through till midnight, 12 a.m. the following morning. And happening from Obra Sporting Circle through to the presidency at the Jubilee House. We would see, and it's interesting, we haven't seen any conversation about this particular demonstration, knowing the fact that a series of demonstrations were organized somewhere last year, and how heavy the conversation was on social media, on TV, almost everywhere. But this time the conversation is quite, I don't know if maybe it's my observation, but the conversation is quite low. It's raised concerns about turn up to this demonstration. It's raised concerns as to if people are going to show up and what this demonstration is going to trigger in terms of response from government. But yeah, that is what has been happening, and that is what's going to be happening today.
Demonstrations, I mean, I think after this, when this is done, we will definitely have a compare and contrast situation on socials, where people will be saying, okay, comparing the previous government and what happened and their posture towards it, and isn't it some sort of irony in there, where you get to see that the Ghana police was the one who put that injunction, and then the court is saying this. I mean, the other side, when demonstrations were happening, something of this sort will happen, and then it will go through like, yes, don't do this, don't do that, you know. But this time around, it's like liberation, you know. Anyways, let's get into
our stories for this morning, starting off as President John Dramani Mahama is set to launch the in the Ashanti region today, Monday, April 28, 2025. Now, the program is a key promise by the government and is set to facilitate the creation of at least 10,000 businesses annually, with a special focus on empowering the youth. Now, the government said this program, which fulfills the 120-day contract, will also address the country's unemployment rate. The president will also launch the Ghana Medical Trust Fund, also known as the Mahama Cares Fund, and the National Apprenticeship Program later this week. Now, let's walk you through what exactly the Jumara program is, and it is helping startups to develop and sustain their business ideas. And also, this Jumara program will incubate and accelerate 10,000 businesses for Ghanaian youth. And this, the president says, is going to curb the unemployment rate growing in the country. We know the State of the Nation's address some in the of the year as well, in the 120-day contract, where he hopes to reduce the unemployment rate, which with initiatives like the program. As always, we'll keep you updated if you join us on X, 24G, and online at mx24online.com. The presidency, Santane Otumfuo said is set to resume mediation efforts between the two factions involved in the ongoing Boko conflict Monday, April 28, 2025. Now, this follows assurances by President John Dramani Mahama that the peace process led by the Asantehene would continue as part of national efforts to restore calm in the troubled region. Now, in a statement issued on April 15, the Asantehene confirmed that the mediation sessions would take place from the 28th of April 2025 to the 1st of May at his palace to resolve the Boko disturbances. Now, let's put this into proper perspective. We know that some years ago, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo appointed Otumfuo Osei II to lead conversations as which are aimed at restoring. We know that over the years, that conversation has been had. When President John Dramani Mahama took helm of affairs on the 7th of January, in the progress of his days in office through to now, he has asked that Otumfuo continue the mediation process. We know it's stalled a bit. It's going to continue today at Kumasi, the Otumfuo's palace in Menchia. We know that over the months as well, some disturbances have occurred, leading to the death of lives and property. That of majority leader, his house was touched some months ago, some weeks ago in the conversation that would emanate from today's conversation, if some calm will be when the leadership in Boko meets with the Asantehene in Menchia later today. But away from that, let's go to politics, where former Vice President and the 2024 New Patriotic Party flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has attributed the party's loss in the 2024 general elections primarily to two major issues: the controversy over the National Cathedral project and a sharp fuel price shortly before elections. Now, speaking in at the start of his tour, Dr. Bawumia addressed concerns stemming from leaked findings of the Michael Quay Committee report, which suggested that his religious engagement may have contributed to the defeat. He firmly dismissed these claims and grounded in economic and governance challenges rather than religious. Bawumia explained that the incomplete cathedral investment of state funds significantly eroded the trust of the electorate and fueled widespread dissatisfaction. Take a listen.
Against each other. Now NDC radio TV towards the 2-3 weeks to the election. So now only campaign but playing our own language back to us. Until now, he has said, campaign, internal contest. Don't bring down your opponent, say that you cannot conduct. Yeah, National Cathedral, yeah, 89C. National after $58 million. Now, as far as the National Cathedral. Our approach in Galamsey that costly. You will see all the mining communities virtually. Now, at the end, 3 days to the election. 3 days to the election. Yet to petrol. And yes, sir. 3 days. Maybe we can say, Mr. How? Young, see about 3 days to petrol. Now, driver for a good food. 3 days. And I'm to
That was the former Vice President and the 2024 New Patriotic Party flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Some sentiments that led to the loss of the party in the 2024 general elections. Now, we know that he has begun his nationwide thank you tour. It started in Takrady. It's expected to hit all 16 regions. So look out for the president or the vice president and the 2024 flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party hitting your region very soon. But away from that, the Minister for Foreign Affairs and Regional Integration, Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa, has announced that Ghana will be issuing chips embedded passports beginning today, Monday, April 28, 2025. To the minister, the introduction of the new biometric passport is aimed at enhancing passport services across the country, eliminating the influence of middlemen and improving transparency in the passport application process. He stated the ministry is committed to ensuring a seamless citizen-centric passport service that is accessible to all Ghanaians and avoids the pitfall associated with third-party interference. The new initiative is part of a broader set of reforms being implemented this year by the ministry. These include the introduction of 24-hour passport operations, passport delivery by courier, e-tracking services, and a 30% reduction in passport application fees. The chip-embedded passport, already in use in several countries, stores biometric information in a secured microchip, offering enhanced protection against identity theft and fraud. Now let's walk you through the details of what this embedded chip passport will be. And the switch to chip embedded passports begins today, Monday, April 28, 2025. Ghana will no longer issue the old biometric passports from today. In compliance with the ICAO requirement, the old biometric passports remain valid until 2030. You can switch to the chip-embedded passports anytime before 2030, whether your passport has expired or not. When you apply for passport renewal, you will be issued with the new chip embedded passports. He goes on to say that you would not be charged extra fees for delivery. You will be able to track your passport application process from the online application process to the final delivery. It should not take more than 15 working days when you apply for a chip-embedded passport if all required documentation are presented. You can obtain your chip-embedded passports in 5 days when you apply for expedited services. Ghanaians who may have challenges with their addresses can indicate when they apply online. Do not store the other cards with chip embedded in them inside the passport, as it may interfere with the encoded information on the RFID inside the passport. Do not attempt to split the biographical data page. This will permanently damage the passport. Report any accidental damage to the issuing authority and do not attempt to fix it. Concludes by saying Ghanaians living abroad are equally entitled to benefit from these passport reforms. They have not been left out. Our embassies and high commissions are ready to serve them. The passport application fee for ordinary chip-embedded passports has been reduced from 500 Ghana cedis to 350 Ghana cedis by Cabinet and will take effect as soon as Parliament approves the new Fees and Charges Act in a few weeks. The passport application headquarters will commence 24-hour operations from Monday, April 28, 2025, and that's today. And apply for your new embedded passports via the www.passport.mfa.gov.gh, and you will be served. Well, interesting. 24 hours operation, delivery under 15 hours, reduced application fees, courier delivery, e-tracking system. That is what the embedded chip passports will do for you. So if you want to switch to it, visit any of the offices of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the Passport Authority and get your chip issued to you. But let's do some music. Renowned gospel music sharing Joe Mettle will host this year's edition of his annual gospel concert dubbed Praise Reloaded on Sunday, June 29, 2025 at the Elwak Sports Stadium in Accra. The event, under the theme Festival of Gratitude, is expected to drive a sizable number of supporters of gospel music, friends of Joe Mettle and stakeholders in the sector. Now, since its launch in 2012, Praise Reloaded has provided a venue for many gospel music fans to experience an environment of adoration and praise. Now, this year's concerts will also feature prominent gospel acts such as Acheisu, Nathaniel Bassey from Nigeria, Joe Mettle himself, among a host of gospel sensations. Now, MX24 News was at his virtual launch where he explained the reason behind the change in venue this year. Take a listen.
Where God has brought me from, and I don't think I will never forget it. Never. I think that I tell people every time that the Jomettle, if you take the God out, like I said, so you have what you have. You are recognized the way you are just because of the God in you, not because of you. And so that's why I am grateful for God's goodness. So basically that is what is going to happen. And this year we're going to have it at the Elwak Sports Stadium. So I think that most of you are aware that quite recently there was a whole issue from, I think, either CAF. And I'm terrible with football, and I think they've put a ban on all the stadiums using or allowing events to happen on the pitch. So they're saying that we can actually use the stadium if we want, but we cannot use the pitch. And if we cannot use the pitch, because the stands are from the pitch, bench, it was too much, and looking at all that, it won't work. So we thought that, okay, then let's try that, say it cuts across. So the God says you can use the pitch for your stage, but you cannot use, no one else can come on the pitch. And so that's what I thought it was just Accra, but recently we went to do a service in Cape Coast Stadium, and they did the same thing to us. And after that experience, I said, no. Because when you say hello, by the time you get to the people, for them to give you feedback, now our assistants, and also now my so we realized that the wrong way. So we decided that we would do LWAC. LWAC is willing to allow us to use the pitch, and then we'll be able to set up. We won't be able to contain the same numbers, but at least we'll get more, we'll be able to take more than half of the people. So we'll trust God to see what will happen.
It's such an honor to be on Praise Reloaded. The name Joe Metal stands for perfection, excellence in the things of God. It's always a joy to be on the same stage with my brother, doing the things that God has called us to be. I believe that this year is going to be a greater. Gratitude is one thing that resonates with me deeply, and I believe that it resonates with Joe deeply as well. He has a whole album called My Gratitude. So it's something that resonates deeply with both of us. I believe that as we give thanks, our Praise Reloaded will be entering into the door of the miraculous. Can I get an amen in the house?
From the virtual launch of Praise Reloaded by Joe Metal, which is set to kickstart or take place on the 29th of June 2025. This time not at the Accra Sports Stadium, but at the LWAC Sports Stadium, and you heard the reasons why it's going to be happening there. Let's do some international news where thousands gathered at the Vatican on Saturday, April 29, to pay their final respect to Pope Francis during his solemn and simplified funeral ceremony. Now, more than 250,000 mourners filled St. Peter's Square, where the 2-hour service unfolded with traditional Catholic rites in place. Now, following the funeral, the late pontiff's coffin was transported to Rome's Basilica of St. Mary Major, where he was entombed. Here are highlights from the burial. That bid farewell to the Pope. Pope Francis and his papacy ended on some weeks ago or some days ago. That was Easter Monday, last week Monday, when he passed on to eternity. May his soul continue to rest in peace. But now that the Pope has been buried, all eyes are now focused on conclave. The selected cardinals who are at the age of 80, about 130 of them, who would be electing the next pontiff. The big question on many Ghanaians, many Catholics, many across the globe is who the next Pope would be, who the next successor of St. Peter will be. Well, eyes will be on conclave this week and in coming weeks as it is set to elect its new pontiff. pontiff. But guys, that's all for the morning news on the AM Club. My name is Augustine Edem Kobi-Tusin. Like I always say, the news ends here. But when you join us on mx24online.com or mx24gh or mx24 news, you get to read the latest news and updates and be in the know on whatever is happening, especially as the president is set to launch a Juma Rap program today and the tune for beginning peace talks also today. And later on the show today, we're having a conversation about the suspension of the Chief Justice. In your opinion, what do you think about the whole process that has gone on over the period, her suspension, the conversation that has arisen on the back of that, as well as Galamsey? What has the conversation been so far? Is this government at the helm of affairs with regards to tackling Galamsey? Join us as we have that conversation later on the morning show. But guys, enjoy the rest of the show.
And thank you so much for coming in with the very best of Indus stories right there. Chip embedded, eh?
Yeah.
All right. I mean, there are technicalities to it. I mean, don't put any other thing, don't spill, keep it in there.
I'm sure it will come with its own pouch. I've not seen how it's going to look like, but if it comes with its own pouch, like how we have the ID holder for the ID card, if it comes with its own pouch, I think that will work.
Yeah, because, I mean, the things around it, there are a lot because it's chip embedded. So you don't know if...
You just don't want to mix it up with anything.
Exactly. Because if that happens, then it gets encrypted and then...
You have to go and start again.
You have to go and do it again. You go and pay
350.
Well, that wraps it up for our in-depth stories right here on the AM Club. Let's turn around. When we come back, we dive straight into sports. We'll be right back.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
Good morning. Welcome to Sports on the AM Club. My name is Sedina Medmon, and Sports on the AM Club is brought to you by Betway, bringing you way more chances to win each and every time. This time it's all about the Betway influencer. There's a place your bet and share your booking codes with your friends and family and followers alike on social media and stand that big opportunity of earning of whatever they wager using your code. More people who stake using your booking code, the more money you make. Whether the bet ends up winning or losing, once they place their bet using your code, you earn 4%. It's exclusive only to www.betway.com.gh. Log on and start up codes today. Regulated by the Betway, you guaranteed to constantly and always get way more. Get the responsible way. Jay, I'm back, and we get into it.
Yes, straight. Let's get into it.
All right, let's get into it. And getting into it, cardiovascular exercises took center stage at this month's edition of Junction More Aerobics. Fitness coaches took participants through rigorous exercises aimed at exercising the cardiovascular.
Mostly, if I talk in terms of motivation, it's a lifestyle for me. I've been doing this for the past 30 years. So it's a lifestyle. And mostly what motivates me most is when I see the crowd. I'm always motivated. I can train them for hours, being tired. I don't get tired unless they get energy. Once they have energy, we keep moving. So the crowd that mostly is my motivation. Today I was mainly on the heart, the cardiovascular system. That was my main focus for them. You know, it's just that the car can be so beautiful, but if the engine in the car is weak, it's just like you driving nothing. So the heart is the most important. So mostly when I'm doing aerobics classes, I focus on the heart, but I also at the same time make sure that the lower body works and the upper body works. So you see that I incorporate the heart, the movement of the leg and the arms all together for them to get complete before they leave.
You know, in the beginning it was kind of slow, but when I started, it was intense. And I like the intensity because, you know, you work on your heart rate, your face in general, and it makes you like always active. So I love the intensity and how everything was going. The coaches were amazing, the way they were switching. You know, their dance as well. It was nice. It was amazing.
Oh, it was great. It was beautiful. The workout was very good. And it's good for everybody, you know. When you join, it's a free training. You get it. And it gives you a lot of great health. You know, when you have health issues, when you come to train, you'll be fit. So I think my experience is beautiful. My lovely auntie, she brought me here today. So definitely next time I'm going to be here.
You know, we do this once every Saturday. So one big thing is because we've been away for some time, a lot of people are anticipating more energy from the coaches, more energy from a lot of people. Above all, to myself and one of the coaches were celebrated today. So it's all energy, celebration, and encouragement, and beauty. We are also admonishing everybody that keep up the good work, your energy, your fitness, and your wellness. Wellness is of the mind. Exercise well, and at the end of the day, you will live long.
So next month happens on the last Saturday of May 2025. Along and getting into some more sporting news, where President of the Ghana Football Association, President Kurt Edwin Simeon Okreku, and the Moroccan Federation President Fawuz have been appointed as a first and a second vice president of the Confederation of African Football CAF. Happened over the weekend as the appointment was finalized at the executive committee meeting that happened in Accra. President Simon Okweku, who has headed the WAFU Zone B section for some time now, has been recognized for his exemplary leadership in Ghana and within the football fraternity of West Africa at large. Now, speaking with regards to the inclusion of President Kurt Simeon Okweku, the president of CAF, that is Dr. Patrice Motsepe, had this to say.
I really want to thank my brother Kurt for and just say how proud I am of the good work he's doing, and I'll say to Kurt what I say to every other president and every other nation in Africa. When the Black Stars wins, we are happy. So you're doing good work.
Now moving on to other sporting activities or events over the weekend. Yes, lawyer Richard Akpokevi has been elected president of the Ghana Olympic Committee with a command that marked a major shift in the nation's sporting leadership with regards to Olympics. Yes, he pulled 44 votes against Michael Agrees of 19 votes. So that's not the first time that Mr. Akpokevi is actually contesting. He contested the last time against the former president, Ben Nunu Mensah, but came short 7 votes. This time, he has been finally elected as the president of the GOC. These are the words that he had for the media right after the declaration of the results.
And 4 years ago I lost, but as a good sportsman, I went prepared and came back, and this time I won. So I'm happy, definitely happy. A lot of hard work, You need to talk to the delegates, let them understand what we want to do together. And so it's been hard work, but it's been worth it. as I said, we are sports people. So sports people, we understand that you must work hard before you can win any competition. Athlete empowerment, welfare of athletes is important. The athletes have no voice as of now in our governance structure. This cannot go on. It must change. The athletes must be heard. Their voices must be heard at Congress, on the executive board, and at committees. We are here because of the athletes. They must be heard. Secondly, gender. The women must be empowered, must build their capacity so that there will be many more women involved in decision taking as well. And then, one thing which is very important is that there are too many disputes in sports, too many divisions. We need to work as one. We need to work as one. We have one GOC team, several players, but one GOC team. We must focus on building that GOC team so that Ghanaians will support us. Right now, if we are not united, we can't go to any body, any institution, any corporate body, and ask for money because they read all kinds of stories in the paper. So we must get united and build structures in our country so that disputes will be resolved within the sporting fraternity. Build structures that we can resolve through ADR and not go to court and so many cases in court and we are not seeing anything, beneficial to the sports disciplines.
Finally,
we ensure, because we know there's no country in the world which depends on a consolidated fund to run sports. Of course, you get something from government, but we must find a way of getting institutions, corporate world to support us. That's why we must be strategic, we must plan, and then we must be united and have one voice. When the corporate world see that we are serious, they will support us.
Now, elsewhere in Europe, Liverpool have been crowned Premier League champions for the year 2024-2025 after an emphatic 5-1 victory over Tottenham Hotspur at Anfield yesterday. Now, this marks the 20th league trophy of Liverpool. Let it be known that Ipswich Town have finally found their way out of the Premiership. So, Ipswich, South and Manchester City have all been relegated from the English Premiership. Now, let's turn to some NBA finally, as the Minnesota team made a 3-1 in their playoff series against the Lakers, with the game ending 1-1-6-1-1-3.
Get down, Luka. Spin, fade away.
much that particular one. Now, that's that as far as that is concerned with regards to sports on the AM Club, but we've got more highlights for you, especially from the African Football Championships, or the juniors as I like to call them, the schools championships, coming up at 4 p.m. Remember that you can go no wrong by keeping your dial here. My name is Sedina Medman. We're held down by Betway. Betway always bringing you way more chances to win. This time is all about the bet influencer. Just log on to www.betway.com.gh and, you know, just cook your bet. Share the booking codes with your friends, family, and followers alike on social media. And once they use your code to also stake a bet, you earn 4% of whatever they wager. Whether the bet ends up winning or losing, or yes, they just need to use your code. So the more people who use your code, the more money you earn. Yes, it's exclusive only to betway.com.gh. Remember the terms and conditions to apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. With Betway, you constantly guaranteed to get way more. For now, we out. Jay, over to you.
Well, Sedinam, thank you so much for coming in with the very best of sports right here on the AM Club. Now let's take a breather. When we come back, we're going to get straight into entertainment and showbiz. We'll be right back after this.
Visit www.mx24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
Started, and as usual, I'm here to start your week right here on the AM Club Coffee Daily Entertainment News segment. My name is Daphne Flashley. As usual, I get to serve you everything in entertainment and what's trending in Ghana, in Africa, and beyond. So sit back, relax, and let's have a ride. Good morning, Jay Kojo Dasibre.
Good morning, Daphne.
How are you doing?
Ade.
And I just discovered your name is John. Go me.
Me?
Yes.
My name is John.
Yes.
For where?
Yes.
Since
so
when?
Good morning, John.
Since when?
Since when? You know your name is John.
Me.
Yes. You know your name is John.
Oh.
Hi, Johnny.
I don't have any John.
I'm looking for my Johnny.
No. I don't have any John.
You thought you were going to hide that from me, huh?
No, I don't have any John. I'm not
your
called John.
Your name is John.
Who told you that? Mimi?
No.
She got it wrong.
I found out.
From who?
From whoever I found out from.
I don't even have that in my passport.
I don't even want to put the person on blast.
It's Mimi. Because she normally will come and call me John.
It's not Mimi.
I'm not John. No.
You are John.
I'm not John.
I say you are John.
Oh, is it because of the J? I'm not John.
Okay, it's fine. Before the segment turns into am I John or not? But Sakurdia's legal team.
Okay.
They ain't backing down. No, they're not backing down. In fact, since they came out to release the statements that they were going to, take EcoBank to court, we didn't hear from them again. We thought that they had withdrawn it or whatever. But just this weekend, on Saturday, we saw that they had put a statement there saying that they are not going anywhere. Time to searching. Exactly. And so let's quickly get into it. let's quickly get into it. Ghanaian rapper Sarkodie is pressing on with his lawsuit against Ecobank Ghana Limited, despite circulating rumors claiming he's dropping the case. His legal team, Robert Smith Law Group, firmly denied these allegations in a statement on April 26, 2025, labeling them baseless and malicious. The team emphasized that Sarkodie hasn't instructed them to withdraw the suit, and the case remains active in court. Under Ghana's civil procedure law, Sarkodie wouldn't need Ecobank's consent to discontinue the case, but no such move has been made. The legal team warned that spreading false information about the case would lead to serious legal consequences, citing Ghana's Criminal Offences Act. And so let's take a look at the statement. So it said, for immediate release to whom it may concern, which is you, me, and anybody else. So we act as solicitors for Michael Owusu-Addo Sarkodie and have the instruction of our client to write to you in respect of the above subject matter. Our attention has been drawn to various publications regarding the matter of Michael Owusu-Addo versus Ecobank Ghana Limited. We're compelled to address the egregious publications made regarding the representation of our client in the ongoing lawsuit against Ecobank. The publication contains the following statement. Rapper Sarkodie has instructed his legal team to withdraw from the ongoing case with Ecobank. However, the bank has declined to back down, indicating its intention to proceed with the legal action. These entirely baseless, malicious, and an affront to our client's integrity, ours and that of the entire judicial process. We categorically state that we have not received instructions from our client to withdraw the suit. We have taken no steps to withdraw the suit, and we have not approached Ecobank with such a request. The matter remains pending before the court, and we are yet to be served with a statement of defense of the defendant. The ignorance and malice by the purveyors of these infertile publication is betrayed by the fact that in civil proceedings, the plaintiff does not need the consent of the defendant to discontinue the action if the plaintiff has not been served with a statement of defense of the defendant. It can therefore not be the case that Sarkodie is seeking the consent of Ecobank to discontinue the action. Yes, so there you have it. They're still holding on to that. But I mean, since last 2 weeks, we didn't hear anything. So I think people thinking that actually the cases, it has died down. Like it was just.
Because you're not hearing anything doesn't, you know, it doesn't show. Or it's not supposed to make you assume that the case has been dropped.
Yeah.
So,
oh, so after every time I keep to see it.
But the guy, the jam.
No.
No saying.
No.
How? No saying.
How?
The guy, the jam, is saying no, the jam.
Look at this. How?
Hey.
How? Viewers,
okay.
Tell me. How?
It's fine.
Anyway, we're moving away from that. Now, something really amazing happened at the Alliance Francaise. Now, I think during the week we had Augustine who came to talk about, someone went to cover short interview at Alliance Francaise, and it was played, and it's about Jazz and World Festival. And in fact, I am excited to actually see snippets of it because I love all kinds of music, right? But I've like, do you get what I'm saying? Like, as you were saying the other time, that jazz is for rich people. But in the interview where Augustine spoke to a lady, she said that jazz is for everybody. Like, you don't, but you will mostly find them playing jazz when you go to like a 5-star restaurant, when they are mixing your Alfredo in front of you and they are tossing the chicken and all of that. And so I'm glad that they had that conversation to break that stereotype because, trust me. But, it was an amazing one. It was a week-long, festival that happened at Alliance Francaise. And so let's quickly get into it. So the Alliance Francaise in Accra marked a decade celebration with the launch of the Jazz and World Music, a vibrant week-long event that showcased a diverse range of musical talents. The festival climax was a concert featuring notable acts such as Wiyala, Alundi Wade, and Thomas Dobler, among others. The celebration signifies a new chapter for the Alliance Francaise, expanding its music beyond jazz to incorporate broad global sounds, underlining commitment to cultural and musical. Take a look. That you don't actually sing, like there's no voice in jazz. So with this, like you buy tickets and come sit down and like watch them play instruments the whole time. There could be so much that could be done. Like, oh yeah, you know, like yeah. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, moving away from that, a big congratulations to Nigerian actress Chizzy Alichi as she welcomes her first child. Now, in your faces, Nigerians, after you put telling her that, why are you not giving birth since it got married in 2019? Yes, she's fine. Her baby is fine. Finally here. And I think it's okay to be ready whenever you're ready. And just people, and when you're in the limelight or whatever, people are always expecting you to, yes, but she did it at her own time. She said there was nothing wrong with her. She just did. Chizzy Alichi has shared pre-maternity shots on her bum, hinting at the coming arrival of the first child. Just captioned the Bible verse 3 verses 11, and he made everything beautiful in its time. Didn't explicitly confirm the birth. Movie producer Stanley on top congratulated her, suggesting the news of her child birth might be imminent. So big congratulations to her. As I said earlier, please allow people to do their thing. Exactly. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we set your tone for the week very, very well. My name is Daphne Flashley. I'll come your way same time tomorrow. But as per usual, social media pages on Instagram and everywhere at MX24GH, YouTube MX24GH, and then catch up with us online at www.mx24gh.com. My name is Daphne Flashley, signing out. Bye-bye.
Well, Daphne, thank you so much for coming in with the very best of entertainment right here on the AM Club. And of course, she's on every single weekday, okay? So make sure you catch up with her as she, gets into every single thing that has to do with, entertainment, most definitely. Yeah. So there's more coming your way right here on the show, ladies and gentlemen. And you do know that, of course, this is the AM Club right here on MX24. Now, in today's dynamic business environment, a robust workforce is pivotal to achieving success. This is why we have thoughtfully designed our corporate health insurance plans to empower your employees and bolster your organization's performance. With Equity Health Insurance, your investment transcends ordinary insurance. It represents a commitment to the future of your company. Our health plans are individually tailored to accommodate the unique needs of your employees, offering comprehensive coverage and exceptional benefits. Our support goes beyond administrative tasks and premiums. Health Insurance, we are dedicated to standing by your side throughout the entire journey. So please feel free to reach us on 0501 515 124, 0539 135073 so that we can the level of service we provide to you. Always #here for you. Telecel has got good news for you. Telecel Cash, your secure and convenient cash platform, is still offering the lowest charges ever. Even better, sending money from Telecel Cash to Telecel Cash is still free on the Telecel Play app. So whether you are paying school fees or sending cash to your favorite people, would you send it keke? Okay, remember you can make payments to all other networks anywhere. Cash transfer is accepted as a means of payment. Dial *110# or download the Telecel Play app today. Now send it keke. All right, Telecel making sure that happens. Well, that's about it for Coffee Daily. Up next, we get into the news review where we're discussing all the major political news. Get ready for that conversation right after this. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Visit www.m24online.com for news, exclusive behind-the-scenes videos, up-to-the-minute sports updates, and the latest broken pen stories now. Experience more of MX24 Online. Visit mx24online.com today. MX24. Fun, fearless, and factual.
My name is Emmanuel Sade, and I'm into farming.
Sukwa owu agbo mopo dono wo tamabe na ma kanaba no agbe vivi no kono doji mi.
I went into farming as a result of applying for a job and I'm not getting it. And moreover, I'm the first son of the family, and at that time too, my mom is very weak. She can't go into the farming again. And everyone is looking upon me that I have to support the family. So, like, if I'm not getting job, then I have to enter into the family to support the family.
At first, when he told me to be a happy about it, but when he explained some things to me, I became happy again.
Easy. I feel my dad. Yeraka. No door.
I mean, to melon, potato, just tomatoes to it, and okra. We have challenges with our inputs. We are talking about the herbicides that we use and the insecticides. We talk about the fertilizer, the prices. It really affects we the farmers here. For workers, I don't have permanent workers. I have my junior brother and my wife who help me in the farm. And the extra ones that we ourselves we can do, we employ other people. When Eda Henry called me from Oblevania that there is a program going, he saw a certain lady going around that is picking data. So for those youth into farm that are 35 years, so we should come and register. So that was when I got to know that there is a project going on. It's a good initiative because a lot of the youth are there. They have the venture into the farming or other businesses by them. But as Ghana Grow came out and then it is empowering them, encouraging them, it helps some of the youth also go into the agriculture or other businesses too.
Through farming, we are able to care for the family and also get money from the farm.
Looking at what my brother has done, going into farming and support the family, it inspires me a lot to also become a farmer.
Farming has helped me. One, I'm married. It supports me financially. Farming helped me to put up my own housing project.
I would advise my husband that he should keep on because I realize that there is a lot of money in farming.
If you can do it, you can also do it. My name is Emmanuel Sade. I'm a farmer. Ghana Grows. Hope Day.
Ghana Grows. Hope Day.
Introducing Betway's Bet Influencer, a groundbreaking feature where you can make money by just sharing codes. He just needs to share his codes and make money. The more his codes are used, the more money he makes. Oh yes! So, what are you waiting for? Anyone can be a bet influencer. Share your codes and make money. Bet Influencer, another world first from Betway.
This advert has been approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, get way more.
This is a call to you. The dreamers. The ones that see no boundaries.
Dreamers take a chance.
The explorers that chart their own path.
Unlock the vibes, connect the energy.
The ones that dare to challenge the status quo.
Get connected, feel the vibe.
When others try to think outside the box, you wonder, what box?
Catch the wave, enjoy the ride.
To the architects of their journeys. Every connection is an opportunity to explore every experience. This is your call to adventure. Your journey begins here. Be bold, be daring, be free. Connecting passions, connecting dreams, connecting ambitions. Telecel, connecting energies.
Michael has been exceptional, surpassed all his targets. Let's hear from this year's Staff of the Year.
This wouldn't be possible without a strong relationship. You've been with me through university. All those days of studying together just to ace those tests, which we did, by the way. And those days of the side hustles. You were there. All of these have prepared me for this moment. Cowbell Coffee has been there with me every single step of the way.
For the big days and the seemingly ordinary, creamy Cowbell Coffee is with you every moment.
This advert is FDA approved.
Hi, my name is Ricky. I'm a TV host and a self-styled chef. Cooking is my ultimate passion, and it's something I would say is my calling. Now, for those who cook a lot like me, there's one fact they always state. Ingredients decide how tasty your food is. For me, the game-changing ingredients is water. Tap water at the moment is not the best option considering what's going on in the country. Also, such as water can taste weird and produce too much waste, so it's a no-no for me. My number one choice for cooking is Jibu water. Cooking with Jibu water and flavor of your food. And it's not just that. Unlike other brands where you have to pour it from a heavy bottle, 20-liter dispenser bottle comes with a tap that makes things so easy. So you see how simple it is with Jibu? Cooking with Jibu gives you big flavors and great taste without all the stress. Remember to cook with Jibu.
Jibu, transforming opportunity to thrive.
I am the businessman I am today because I scoured the world to find that feeling my clients want to wear. This country makes it its business to inspire at every moment. Here, there's a feeling that can only be South Africa. So come touch, taste, and live South Africa. There is so much more to see.
Welcome to Deluxe Experience Ghana. Trusted partner in creating unforgettable events. From breathtaking stage designs to dazzling lighting solutions, we bring your vision to life with precision and creativity. Our expert event planning and consultation services ensure every detail is taken care of so you can enjoy a stress-free experience. Capture every moment with our professional photography, videography, and live streaming services because every memory deserves to be cherished. Transform your event venues into a masterpiece with our exquisite interior lighting and permanent designs tailored to suit your style and theme. At Deluxe Experience Ghana, we don't just plan events, we create experiences. Let's make your next event extraordinary. Deluxe Experience Ghana. Think events, think Deluxe. Contact us today on 0267 83 7006 or 0545 03 8620 and 0545 03 7520. Deluxe Experience Ghana. Think events, think Deluxe.
Good morning and welcome to the AM Club right here on MX24. We're getting into our news review segment. My name is Miriam Uduak-Mensah. You're welcome. Well, big conversations coming up, and it has become important for us to sit and have these conversations. But before we get into that, my guests are already seated, fired up for these big conversations. But before we get into that, Equity Health Insurance has something amazing for you. They call this one the Equity Micro Health Plan. Healthcare should be affordable and accessible to everyone, regardless of your financial status. With this in mind, Equity Insurance introduces the Micro Health Plan, a cost-effective health insurance solution tailored for market traders, artisans, small business owners, and low-income earners. Now, for as little as 52 Ghana cedis a month, you get access to outpatients and inpatient care, consultations with accredited health professionals, emergency medical assistance, diagnostic test. The Micro Health Plan is built to ease the burdens of healthcare costs, ensuring that quality medical services are within reach for everyone living here in Ghana. Families as well. Secure your health today. Contact us on 050-9339-414 or 050-96 69010 to enroll to the Equity Health Insurance. We say always here for you. Now, when we talk about clean water, we're talking Agyekum water. Now, we have a special innovation for you, and that is our 20 bottles with ETAP, 18.90 liter bottles. Your dispensers will have a breath of new life. Yes. And so I'm encouraging you to grab yours today. Call us on 020-9845-817. That's 020-9845-817. Or visit our website at www.agyekumco.com/GH for more information about our brand Agyekum Water, a better life. Now, we're getting into our conversation for this morning. I have seated across me Mr. Derrick Agyekum. It's been a while since I met this gentleman, and he's looking amazing. I was teasing him earlier that opposition looks good on you. I don't know whether you should stay in opposition or you should come back in power. Good morning, Derrick. How are you doing?
Good morning, Miriam.
It's really good to see you. Really good to see you.
I'm happy to be back home.
Awesome. Now, I also have seated right beside me and Deputy Director of Campaigns and Advocacy, NDC Youth Wing. That is Reginald Acheisu. Good morning. How are you doing, fine gentlemen?
Hi, Mimi. I'm very fine, thank you.
You are looking very well, though.
How are you doing too?
Politics now, and I say
when you have a good government in power and you're able to wake up to a fresh breath of air, you can only look good.
Look better.
And I mean, Ghanaians listen to me, you will bear witness that even if you go out without money, like just the sense of a new makes you feel okay. Don't do money, Mahaman delivering. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyways, that's just on the line.
That's just on the line. No, absolutely. Now let's get into our conversations for this morning because we don't want to waste too much time. The suspension of our Chief Justice, I believe, is one of the conversations that we are going to be getting into. But for us so far, before we get into that conversation for this morning, I am a little worried about some of the things that people are complaining about, and that is the light situation right now is getting out of hand. Very recently, I think this morning, my colleagues were talking about how ECG says we should reach out to them, we should find their spaces, we should come and complain if we have any problems. But also there is the bit where, you know, some people have reached out and they're always complaining, like, why you guys here, they'll sack us, they'll give us all those very hostile treatment. What are we going to with this? Any feedback on that? I'm not going to bother Derrick with that. Any feedback on that situation so far?
All right, Mimi, so thank you very much. And before we go into anything, I just want to say a very big good morning to all your viewers and listeners worldwide. The issue the issue around power, it's very disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll not sit here to make it look like I'm not also enduring it. The ECG and the Ministry of Energy had made us understand that the work in progress. There are so many things that are happening now. And like you might recall, just about a month ago, we were chasing about 2,000 containers that are coming at the port. And these are all things that are contributed to what we are experiencing now. But the minister in charge has promised that within earnest, he's working tirelessly with us to ensure that this issue is curtailed within the shortest possible means of time. So I just call out on the minister, ECG, great coal, so the power producers, the distributors, and all of that, the regulator, to also work as possible. Work with any agency that is in charge, work together to stand sorted, because Ghanaians complain. I'm also complaining. And so I want to beg on behalf of all of them and then tell Ghanaians that this is an issue that is being worked on as soon as possible. And within the next few weeks, this should be brought to an end. Thank you.
Awesome. Now let's zoom right into our conversation.
No, but Miriam, I think I think I should have a bite on this.
Please
do some conversation. You see, I mentioned on one of our sister stations, and then before, a very good morning to the viewers and listeners out there, and a special morning to my friends and family also out there. I say this always, and I say this all the time, that this is what we were telling Ghanaians that they didn't listen. John Dramani Mahama is synonymous to doom so. In the year 2016, 2014, 2015, when the name of JDM is mentioned, what comes to mind was Doomso. And so I'm not surprised. Last Friday, I wrote on my status, after a hectic day, I go home at 11 p.m., only to find out my lights were off.
But you were experiencing this before the election?
No, Miriam.
Please, I knew his video. why he sat right here and told us that he's also Ghanaian, and so the life situation is also affecting when your government was in power.
The minister respected Ghanaians and made us understand that they were fixing certain issues, there were challenges, former issues, and then they were
repairing them. Is it the minister who told us to have our own time?
Relax. Reggie, relax.
I just want to find out.
Relax. And then when he was questioned on the matters of doing so, he said that now the gadget, or lack of better words, the load on our transformers gets above the shred, and so it blows out our transformers, and that is why we are experiencing the outages, and then they are fixing these challenges.
Yes,
that was what the minister said. What has this minister said about these doom source?
Oh, do you also remember that when they came right into power, they did give us some challenges that they were already faced with?
What were they? What were the challenges?
Not enough oil to fuel.
But the minister said that the oil we had, we couldn't sustain for 4 days.
But of course, they did go that.
After the minister made those communications, so we were not experiencing the power outages as we're experiencing today.
Because then
where I live,
the provisions
Jalil City where I live, it is very rare to have them so. Because of the Pantai Hospital. Because of the lack of challenge in those areas. And so, Reggie, hold on. So I'm making a point that if I'm experiencing doomsaw at that point now, it tells you how severe our situation has gotten to.
Okay, so now that they've asked for time, let's see how long they will take.
Well, but I say Ghanaians shouldn't expect anything better from the NDC government when it comes to matters of electricity. Because that's what they are known for.
Again, I myself and some Ghanaians will give them the benefit of doubt for the time frame they have given us. And
that is the argument I don't want us to make.
Okay, all right. So let's get into our big conversations because I see that this is going to take all our time. So Mahama suspends Chief Justice after setting up a committee to probe into the petitions. 3 petitions, he says, has been given to him. They're looking into it, but whilst at that, she's been suspended. And I don't want to go into the social media posts I have seen because I can't authenticate those. But so far, there have been some revelations that there were some wrongdoings on her path. I want you to take the conversation. Let's start with that. This entire conversation is, from your end, is looking like a political witch hunt. And that's how you have your party and party members made it look like, or have said that it is. So far, with the suspension and the petitions that have been given, are we looking at some changes coming very soon? Are you confident that she did nothing wrong, so very soon she'll be put back in her position?
Miriam, let's look at this conversation not on the tangent of the person, but the office of the Chief Justice.
Right.
That is no mean person occupying that office, but the head of an arm of government.
Absolutely.
Separation of powers mandates that the judiciary is independent, the legislative is independent, the executive is independent, but there is a necessity for checks and balances. What am I saying? The office of the Chief Justice is an office that by no mean or mere petition should call for her suspension.
Even if the petitions are died, they are very...
so let's delve into the substance of the petition. If we have time, we can look at it from one after the other, and we will look at it and ask ourselves that, are these matters enough to call for the suspension or the establishment of a prima facie against the CJ? There are 3 petitions against the Chief Justice, from Daniel Ofori, from the Saviors Group, and from the Assistant Commissioner of Police, Ayamba. The Saviors Group, they petitioned that the CJ has misbehaved herself. And for the purposes of records, the Savior says that the CJ recommended certain justices of the appeals court to be appointed onto the Supreme Court bench. And I ask myself, does this cause for a misbehavior?
But was it in her position to do that?
Mimi, the Constitution makes us understand that for a Supreme Court judge to be appointed, the President does that in consultation with the Judicial Council.
Yeah, so that's why
the CJ chairs the Judicial Council.
Right.
And by a means of recommendation, it is not binding on the President. In any case, she can only recommend, as you being the host of this morning show, you recommend. Derrick and Reginald are voices for us. They make the show interesting. So you may want to have them 3 times in a month.
But that's it within my rights.
You are a host of the program. She's the CJ. Your director, I'm coming. Your producers may consult you on who to bring on the show. And so if you are the host of a program and you suggest to your directors that, oh, these guys are good, they make the show interesting, we get a lot of feedbacks when they come. And so I may want to suggest that we can have them 3 times in a day. Is it binding on your directors?
This is within my rights, but looking at the conflict of interest that was introduced in that conversation, she had no right to do that.
How?
It wasn't her to do. It wasn't
conflict of interest.
Why was she interested in doing that anyway? If the president can make these appointments with her advice, but it should come from that angle.
But Miriam, how wrong is that for a CJ who superintends all the activities of the court in our country? The judge of that says that by the actions and activities of these justices, I think that when they are appointed onto the Supreme Court bench, it helps our judiciary. In any case, the president acts on those recommendations. So what is the point? Why should we suspend a CJ or establish a prima facie against a CJ because she was a member of the bench of a court in a judgment that was pretended or presented? Why should she be suspended because of that? I am a petitions that the CJ as part of the bench made certain remarks against his person. But
he as an individual.
As an individual. And in that same judgment, the evidence he attached to his petition was a news item. And the news item, when you read the news item, it tells you that Kwame JC, who was appointed by His Excellency John to the bench of the Supreme Court, even chastised him that his actions makes him contemptuous of the court. And no other justice of life signed in dissent of the ruling that the CJ gave. So what is happening to the other 4 judges? The Constitution absorbs whatever decision that the judges give on the bench. So why are we singling out the CJ? Is it because she's a woman? Why are we singling out this? What happened to the 4 other justices? Let's look at the case critically, not the person of Gertrude Tokonu being appointed by His Excellency Nana Danko Akufo-Addo, but the office of the Chief Justice.
Right.
Are we making the office of the Chief Justice contemporary to that of the President?
But they are also acting within the Constitution, setting up a committee to make sure she's not thrown away completely, but looked into.
146 gives that room.
Absolutely.
But I am saying that in establishing the Constitution says that that's in consultation with the Council of State.
Right.
Let's look at the politics of the Council of State. There are 30 in number. 16 are elected. 15 are appointed by the President. Take it. These people may not have partisan colors, but they have partisan inclinations. And so let's even 3 are elected. Pledge their allegiance to the government of the day. And the 15 appointed, that needs to give them the majority of 18.
Absolutely.
But in this case, 30 of them, the former CJ abstained from the decision. 30 of them says that the petitions brought before the CJ has a prima facie. So in the face of it, she has a case to answer. But let's look at the matters that were petitioned against the CJ. Daniel Ofori petitions, and in paragraph 5 of his petition says that he is not mandated to present any evidence on the petitions he had leveled against the CJ. Daniel Ofori, who has his lawyers as Chachuchi Kata and Tadiosori. We know Tadiosori in this country, his brushes with the CJ when matters of the Speaker of Parliament was in court. It is a public knowledge, and we all know these things. Daniel Ofori, who's an aggrieved person because of a ruling the judge gave against him.
You're saying right now that because of their conflict of interest.
So I'm saying that the office of the Chief Justice shouldn't be lowered to the point that when I, Derrick Agyekum, I am aggrieved or let's say not happy about the actions of the Chief Justice, I put pen to paper and write anything at all for political gains. Mind you, NDC before winning 2024 elections has said it time and again with that number that they are not happy with the actions of the Chief Justice. They are not happy with the actions of the courts. And Nana Danko Akufo-Addo had packed the court with the MPP judges. And so when the president assumes office or when he wins, he will saturate the bench and include NDC judges. Are we saying that the next CJ that will be appointed in case that the woman falls off the sword is an NDC judge?
Well, we live to see that.
If that becomes the case,
all we want to see is that this goes within the Constitution as they have said they are going to. Now the committee is set up. They're looking into it.
But let's even look at the committee.
Okay.
The committee has JC as the chair, appointed by John Dramani Mahama, His Excellency. This committee, in the matters of the petition, a case was made about Domlevo, the former Auditor General, when this matter was sent to court. And you see, for the purposes of records and for emphasis sake, the matters of Domlevo, the then Auditor General, had matters of falsification of date of birth. And so the court needed to establish that fact first, investigate it before they gave a ruling. And CI 47 makes us understand how the court may dispense justice. And so they won't necessarily delay justice of a matter. Let's establish that first. And so if we think that somebody dissatisfied or accusing the CJ of misbehavior when she is purported to have delayed the matter of Domlevo, and then fast-track the matter of Afenyo Markin when the speaker declared the other 4 seats vacant, it's neither here nor there. And so if a matter concerns Domlevo, and for which he is aggrieved as a person, for which somebody petitioned the CJ and he is a member of the committee, the constitution mandates that when the committee has a, that is 3 against 2, the matter is settled. And so she falls off the sword. We have Domlevo on the committee, we have Mama Acheisu on the committee, and with all respect, Justice Dateba makes us understand that the Supreme Court judges are not malleable to the CJ or any other appointing authority. So I respect that opinion of Justice Dateba. And so I'm not saying that because Mama Acheisu was appointed by Cecilin John Dramani Mahama, he may kowtow to certain dictates of his party. But I'm saying we have the professor of University of Ghana, who is a known NDC lecturer, joined the demonstrations, joined professionals campaign for the NDC and all of that, and he's a member of the committee. In the layman's point of view, I'm not being prejudicial, but we know where the matter would end.
Okay, we'll live to see where this case goes to. Mr. Acheisu, your take.
All right, thank you very much, Mimi. I think that before I even make any comment, I would want to say that this is a very matter of law, and this also has an effect on our democracy. And so I'll be very meticulous with my words, and I'll try and articulate in a way that will be very understanding to any other person as well as. You know, like my brother rightfully mentioned, a clear case of separation of powers, but it also does have something to do with checks and balances. All right, and although the judiciary, executive, and the legislature, they are different arms of government, but you know how much the legislature works and all of that. And we also have a president that has proven beyond doubt he has respect for the rule of law. If not for anything at all, these petitions came in way so, but the gamut of procedure that this that is didn't just decide to carry on anyhow. He decided to go through the procedure. And Article 146 of the Constitution does give the procedure that these type of are supposed to go through. And that is exactly what the president is doing. Now, what happened was 3 petitions of the president, of course, against a lead, against the Chief Justice of the land. And Reginald, I would say, had it not been for the MPP, there are officers that we don't joke with, like the Chief Justice, the Attorney General, and so many other officers that you can barely even sit on TV to talk about them. In this country, where there was a Chief Justice called Madam Georgina Wood. I don't know if I'm getting the name right. We all revered her. She was appointed by Kufuor. She was still Chief Justice at the time of John Dramani Mahama, his first term, until Akufo-Addo she retired, right? And then the appointment of a new Chief Justice. So what I'm saying is that it is not a political witch hunt. Madam Georgina Wood was appointed by the then MPP government, but because Chief Justice is not an office that you just come and take off like that. You understand? And so I will not even sit here to visit the office of the Electoral Commissioner, although there's a case within that.
You really wanted to bring that
And you also made mention that because she's a woman. No, let's not do that. This is a party that have continuous, that the respect for women is unmatched. I sit here in the capacity of that from the office of the Vice President because the Vice President of our land is a woman. You get what I mean? So you cannot say because it's a woman, they are doing that to her. No. Georgina Wood, what's your... Exactly. So it's not because she's a woman. Now, let's go through the gamut of procedure. The first thing is, after these petitions have been submitted, the president has a duty not to even deal with the petitions, but just to submit to the Council of State. Around the time when these petitions were submitted, the Council of State was not in existence. But after the Council of State was put together through an election and all of that, swearing in and all of that, the president now submits these petitions to the Council of State and then gives, the Council of State gives Madame Gertrude the opportunity to reply to these petitions.
Right.
How many days? I think about 10 days or more. And so she was given a number of days to respond to the petitions. People have raised allegations against you. Some say you have misconducted yourself. Others say this. And all of these things are embedded in the Constitution. Once there's a mention of it, you need to give a fair hearing. And that was granted. Then the next part of it was that the Council of State is supposed to determine, and so it was not her duty to determine whether there's a prima facie. What's the prima facie is that the allegations against you, what the Council of State is supposed to do is to see and to check and see if there's any iota of truth in there. If there's an iota of truth, they report back to the president and say, we think a part of the petition might be true. So what the Constitution mandates the president to do is to appoint a 5-member committee that will look proper into the petition, and then we'll be able to now suggest ways to go forward. But in the process of doing that, there's a case against you, Madam Chief Justice, and the Council of State have suggested that there is a prima facie that have been identified. And so you would have to step aside because, of course, it's a case against you. And even the suspension, it's in the Constitution. If you allow me, I'll read. It's a whole lot. But I can go through it quickly for our viewers who hope to appreciate and understand some of these things.
It won't take too long.
I mean, yeah, right. It's just, it's quite long, but I'll just select a part of it and then read. But before I do that, so now, even the Constitution talks about who this 5-member committee should be, right? 2 of them should be, I think, judges. The remaining 3 should just members. They should even be lawyers. So it gives the president the room to look through the over 33 million Ghanaians and decide who you want to be on that committee. And it is so because now we want people to be able to identify whatever it is without any form of friendship, attachment, or whatsoever. And that is what he has done. Whatever he has done is in line with the Constitution. And so I do not see why we should make this look like a witch. And then I've said it, I'm saying again, we should be careful how we are running commentary on this. Because now we'll be judged by our words. The same way commentary he ran about some 6 months ago or 10 months ago, he came here and he's saying otherwise. That is the same way 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, young people will also now be listening to some of these things that we are saying on this matter. This is a serious issue. And so I think that the president is committed to the rule of law, and that is what he's doing. If at the end of the day, the committee comes and says that, oh, it is just one of those, quickly Chief Justice will be instated, and then she'll still continue her work. The president has not shown anywhere that he does not like the Chief Justice. I don't think so.
So again, this brings me to what we have been talking about a lot about some of the institutions, government institutions that we are pushing that it should totally be taken out of the hands of the president. That power should, so that we don't look at it as a political conversation. Well, we're going for a quick commercial break. When we come back, the conversation continues right here on the AM Club.
The all-new season of your favorite evening talk show is here.
You need to work to be able to get what you want.
Can I say get what off?
If a man understands that the woman's makeup, sexual makeup, is not same as mine, I need it every 2 days. In fact, some men need it every day.
The Dish returns on your screens with more laughter, inspiration, and powerful conversations with progressive women ever before.
They are my brothers, they are my friends.
In trying to you begin to lose yourself. You get to a point where you don't even know who you are anymore. And then people start to define.
This season, we're diving deeper into real-life issues affecting women, unfiltered and raw. We're addressing challenges faced by women in our society.
I'm like, how do I want to be in a place where I wake up every day and I have marks
my face is swollen or something has happened to me some way or the other, and I'm wrapping up and giving an excuse for someone who is doing that to me. It doesn't feel good.
Join us every week as we sit down with incredible women, each with their own stories to share.
If you read my caption, that was
I brought you here to have an interview, and that's what we're going to do. Stories that will move you, challenge you, and leave you thinking long after the show.
Owning your sexuality is understanding and being aware of your individual energy. It's more than the physical. It's the energies that you also come with into this universe.
From the triumphs to the struggle, we're covering it all.
At the point where I realized that my auntie needed some particular help, I said, no, I have to stand up and talk about mental health.
Get ready for provoking conversations, inspiring guests, and a whole lot of heart. This is the dish where women lead the conversation. Don't miss out.
The dish is presented by Epiglow.
Welcome back to the AM Club. This is a segment with me, Miriam Uduak-Mensah. We're getting into other conversations right here. If you're just joining in, you made the right choice. My guests are still seated here. When it comes to the conversation of galamsey, we're just like many Ghanaians, we're looking for solutions to solve this issue completely, to bring back some sort of restoration to our water bodies. But the conversation keeps growing and growing, with tensions even rising. Now I hear there is going to be a demonstration very soon, if not today. It's today, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, and all that. But in August 2022, some arrests were made in connection with Akunta mining, which didn't go anywhere. I mean, with the reason being that no fault, was found on them, and so yes, they were set free. But just a week ago, we also heard different from our new minister that, listen, we've found more rots in that space than it was reported, and some cancellations were done, some leases were revoked, and all that. They respond. Mining has responded, saying that they have not done anything wrong. But when you look at where the story is developing to, some arrests have also been made. Some 13 people, I believe, 13 or 18, have some Chinese and Ghanaians have been arrested. 51 arrests, 8 Chinese, 39 Ghanaians, being men, and 4 Ghanaian women, and some excavations have been seized. We're still talking the fight against galamsey, and so for me, I would totally say that, listen, if they are in the wrong, of course, why not? But does it end here, Mr. Acheisu?
No, Mimi, thank you very much. The issue of galamsey is very serious and dire, and like we sat on this platform to always talk. And I mean, last year I was part of the demonstrations. I was like, not the time, the second time when we had to join to call the release of the companies that had been arrested and all of that. It's that situation when you travel around the country, you're on these things. And like we have said, if we do not stop these men, by 20, if you are not careful, we start importing water. And so that is how bad it is. But you have a government that is very commitment in its dealings. The NDC and their quest for power suggested that these things need to be stopped. One of the ways to stop this is first off to now they say they want to amend it, but the that gives mining companies opportunity and the rights to enter our forest reserves and should be located. Oh, what's the word?
Repeal.
But we are not. We need to be committed to that. But is that first they promised that they are not going to go over the young guys bushes that are doing the mining.
Yeah.
They go after the kingpins. That is what is happening now. The issue with you made mention in the year 2022, there was some arrest, and then the president came in to there's nothing wrong. And I remember so well, a brother and a friend, Brightakwe, did a very good painting of the president clearing the mess of the Akonta mine CEO. We all know him. And so one of the things this government is committed to be doing is that it's not the guys that are in the mine, although they are also at fault, but they are not the target. The main target are those that have the money to be importing these heavy-duty equipments. It is those that have the money to be buying these concessions and whatsoever. And Akonta mine is one of the big guys within this. Mining in our forest, and so it is just right that they are the type of guys we want to go after. And the issue of Akonta miners, like the minister said, Akonta mine has now even moved from just being a mining company that is mining our forest reserves. They are also in the middleman business. Yeah, can you imagine that they even have the right to sell off? Meanwhile, you yourself, your license is not valid, but you have what it takes to be able to sell off concessions to other mining companies at an amount of 300,000 Ghana cedis. And a weekly they need to still bring you royalties. I hear 250 ounces of gold every week. That is cruelty. And so I really want to commend the Minister of Lands and Natural Mineral Resources. That man has been seen working tirelessly day and night. The other thing too is that the minister had called the Interior Minister and has also called the Police IGP to reshuffle the police and security service that were within these areas. And I think it's a very good call because some of them have grown fond of the police. They have become more like friends. And so when they see them, they are not even afraid anymore. And so there's the need to reshuffle them just so that new faces go and then the new fight starts. And like you have seen, within the first 4 months of the NDC's administration, you have seen tireless efforts to clamp down on this. And this is a government that is committed to this. And committed by will and committed by deeds. And they are going to work tirelessly to ensure that if not for anything at all, sanity is restored within our forest reserves, and sanity is also restored within our water bodies. And we've also launched the Blue Water Guards.
Yes.
Yeah. So
why is that funny? Why is that funny?
I mean, if you do not really understand the basics for some of these things, it will be funny. But it's right to recruit people within these communities, given the authority to take charge of them. Some years past, we were the ones taking care of our water bodies. We were told not to cut a particular tree because when you cut, blood will come. That is what water bodies were gods that we revered. And so if taking people from communities and training them so that you give them the reasons why they should guard their water bodies, they should guard their land, because that is what they have for their farming prospects and all of that. I do not think that there's anything wrong with it at all.
On a lighter note, people, I mean, I've seen social media commentary saying that, listen, you put military men there, they were not able to protect us. These young boys that just because of, what you call it, unemployment, they are out here struggling. You put them at the forefront of this huge
One
fight.
of the ways this water guard is different from the NPP. The NPP did put sort of party affiliates. What the NDC has done different is that we have consistently decided to use locals. And these are
who are not affiliated to the party at all.
Locals who have interest in their environment. So this is it is not about military leaving back from Teshie or wherever to go to forest reserves and go and no, these are people who you want them to appreciate and understand why there's the need to protect our water bodies. And you recruit them from the same, and they know there are guys that are doing it. So they are not going there to go and be firing arms and to burning excavators, no. And to be seizing excavators, no. It is to serve as watchdogs against fellow peers and give them the reasons why they need for Blue Water Guards. I do not think this is a joke, and this is one of the solutions, very subtle, people don't understand. Results to bring. Thank you.
Akonta mining, people are calling for the arrest of Chairman Woodumi instead of all the other arrests that have been, done. And I'm channeling this. I'm actually skewing the conversation into this space because he is your party executive. What is the party saying about this call for the arrest of Chairman Woodumi?
Miriam, Reggie has said a lot of things. which I would respond to after the chairman owns me submission. What has chairman owns me done?
He owns Akonta Mining.
And so what?
Allegedly. Let me
and
just
so
say
what?
that. And so the nuances that have been discovered, let me help.
No, but he's not supposed to interview you.
He's asking me. Reginald is asking me.
But why is he interviewing?
No, I'm not interviewing you. I want to understand her point. Chairman owns me owns Akonta Mining. And
so
you can even give me the response if you have it. You can even give me the response.
Akonta Mine.
Okay.
Akonta Mine lines have been expired for about 3 years now.
Okay.
In several illegalities.
Okay.
In mining in forest reserve that they are not supposed to enter.
Okay.
Akonta Mine is serving as a middleman, procuring and securing concessions for other miners to enter into forest reserves and mine. This is cruelty, this is wizardry, this is wicked. And so the CEO of Akonta Mine needs to be arrested.
Okay.
Yes.
So issues of Galamsey polluting our water bodies is just like terrorism attack. And so I would not sit here to brief anybody who is a corporate. But let's look at the substance of the matter. Our criminal jurisprudence permits that before you suspected person, you must give the person the right to fair hearing.
Absolutely. But isn't there supposed to be an arrest before that?
No. And I'll prove that to you.
Okay, please go ahead.
22 Erastus Asaredoko, the review journalist on Galamsey, made a documentary on lands that are being destroyed by Akonta Mining purportedly. The matter got to the president, investigations commenced, and it was proven that Akonta Mining does not even have the license in the Numeri forest. Talk less of he going to mine there.
Okay.
That has been established.
That was established, but
and currently, the Minerals Commission has written
that
Numeri forest, Akonta Mining has no license.
No, yes.
Wait, hold on, Reggie.
Plenty mining companies don't have license, but they still enter into forest reserve. That's what I just want to say.
Reggie.
Right.
That's why I'm saying that if Akonta Mining is not licensed and they are mining within the Numeri forest and then on our water bodies, deserve a sort of
perfect.
Before you call them terrorists, before you call them whatever label that you have for them, it must be established. It must first be established. Because Galamseyers are saying that they bought the land from Akonta Mining, and so that makes sense.
But
let's ask ourselves that does that make it the truth?
That's not, but then is he not supposed to be questioned on that?
No, there's no point for any other. He's supposed to be questioned. But I expect the minister, without the state apparatus, does not need to come and tell us in camera. Because we watched that documentary 3 years ago.
No, but the minister has come in with a new
documentary. Let's understand that. Where is the documentary?
This documentary criminalizes Akonta Mining, which, by the way, it wasn't the case before. Were directly connected to some illegalities that had gone on these on these lands, right? And so, if these, which has actually led to of their
as we speak now, Akonta Mining don't have any license to mine in Ghana. So what the minister did was just a sham. Akonta has been revoked. Reggie, please. But you had your time, Reggie.
No, but what I want to say is that
Reggie, please.
There are so many mining companies
Reggie, please.
To mine.
Reggie, let's do this well. I've been in a position before when you are in power, you have a lot to say to defend. But please, Reggie, hold your brief.
I will not defend.
Reggie, hold your brief. I'm saying that
right
as we speak today, or as we speak to the days where the minister had purported revoked the license of Akonta Mining. Akonta Mining was not having any license.
But they were working.
Where they mining?
These are
so you arrest if I somebody tell you that I was sent by Okuja to
do we call Okuja to Ablakwa how?
That's my point. Don't sit in camera and tell
managing director of people.
No, Reggie, let's have a wonderful. Let's have a wonderful. Reggie, let's have a wonderful show.
Reginald,
to lie to us.
Reginald. Reginald, let him land with his point. You can't
Let me land on my point and you understand me.
That's fine. Okay.
I'm saying that a thief is caught in this premise. Yes. Issue because it relates to it. Maybe somebody may not understand the point that a thief is caught and a thief tells you that it's Miriam that sent him here to steal.
Miriam has to be called.
That make you a criminal before you've been caught.
No, not
exactly the point.
Exactly.
So I'm saying that if it comes out after investigations, then the laws deal with him. I don't come and sit in camera and cry to 4 months. That wasn't done in 8 years.
Going after Kim was not in 8 years.
A simple search on Google. What the number of people that are arrested?
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. No, I am saying that
has been gone after.
Okay.
In 2022.
Yeah.
Denying that contaminated the license to mine in the rainforest. Which came and signed this? Can we treat that as a witch hunt?
And that
we have in Dunkwao, the NDC constituency chairman attacking the government team that were fighting illegal mining. What has been done about that constituency chairman? If indeed what has been done about that constituency chairman? If indeed you are fighting Galamsey.
I wish you have said, oh, the constituency chairman was mining, or the constituency chairman was one of your chairpersons who said that, oh, party Nyanska, so we have to do Galamsey. That was when you would have been able to even equalize it.
So all these comments didn't make it easier for you. And I went directly to the Kunta mining boss because of the call for his arrest. And obviously, you say it so well that the fact that he's been accused of something does not make him a criminal. However, isn't he, required to make some, give us something to work with in terms of answering some?
I made that premise.
Absolutely.
That our criminal jurisprudence gives room that before you charge anybody for an offense, you must give the person the right to fair hearing.
True.
And I've said that if a Kunta mining is a corporate in this matters of Galamsey, the law should deal with him.
Right.
The law should deal with him. I am not against that. But I'm asking again that in the 4 months of the NDC, that they think it is not so much a time to fight Galamsey.
But it isn't.
You are saying that, Miriam, you are seated here telling us that 4 months, it is not enough to fight Galamsey.
But you couldn't use 4 years to do that.
I'm coming. So, you see, the NPP understood the death of Galamsey because it was a matter of livelihood.
Right.
People's lives depend on them. For so many years, we have been wanting to fight these issues of prostitution. But because the livelihood of these young girls depends on that act, it becomes a tumultuous tax. It becomes a difficult tax to be fought. That is how Galamsey is. The livelihood of some people depends on it. It's just like betting. Councillors, pastors may have gone every extent to tell the young people that, look, betting is not good for you. But because their livelihood depends on it, it becomes a hectic tax. But we have these NDC when in opposition, writing on their X account, writing on their Facebook account that His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, with all the state apparatus, Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, can end Galamsey in 1 week. That is 7 days. John Dramani Mahama has been a president for over 100 days. It is over 10 weeks since he assumed office. When it comes to matters of arrest, the NPP arrested people involved in Galamsey. When it comes to revocation of licenses, the NPP revoked licenses of those involved in Galamsey. When it comes to blue water guards, if he's forgotten, the former Deputy Minister Mekuduka was leading the water guards conversation.
I made mention of it.
You mentioned that they were party apparatchiks, they were party affiliates. MP for what makes you think that it is different when Mabuai is MP for Elebele? What are you talking about? Affect our bodies. Miriam, when it comes to water, anybody is engaging in genocide. Anybody destroying our water bodies is a terrorist.
Right.
We must treat that person as such. Not
based on the findings that of these investigations, whoever is found executed,
whether NDC must be a person, but when we become selected in these justices,
it's still building up.
It's not because before the minister came to cry through his hands in despair, there were arrests or confrontations of the chairman of the NDC confronting Erastus and the government have been sent to Dunkwao. What has been done about it? Not a single statement condemning those actions. But today, a Kunta mining that 3 years ago had his license revoked.
Who said 3 years ago was not mining?
Not be mining because now there's a fresh conversation that says that he has. So we're still, and I'll let you know, because the case is growing. We're still finding whether or not these people are really Akwanta mining workers. What the so far, they are affiliated to the Akwanta mining, so we cannot say anything more than that. But we'll move on to other conversations, and I'm not going to give you an opportunity to speak on mining. No, let's go to Tamale. The Tamale Teaching Hospital came under big conversation last week with the Minister of Health being in the mix. Some firings went on. Ministry of it's not ministry. The doctors with the presser. Some were asking. In fact, there have been some strike actions. Proposals have already started going on over there, and the minister came out to ask and plead with them to go back to work, but hasn't apologized like they asked for. But my question is that, listen, we're saying the system wasn't working properly. The minister was there. We saw on camera that some of these equipment were just laying around, were not working. And he says that the person who was supposed to be in charge of this business is not working. And so I'm going to let them go and appoint someone to get the work done. Aren't we all looking for a health system that works? And so if someone has been there for so long, not been able to lead a charge for things to be done well, shouldn't they go? I don't see where the problem is if as a Ghanaian, because again, you see, today you are a doctor, tomorrow you could be a patient, and so you're going on strike as a doctor because you think you have the power. What if tomorrow you are the patient and there are no doctors to take care of you? And that's why I'm saying as a young Ghanaian, I want you to speak on this particular issue before Mr. Chenso.
Miriam, the issue of the Tamale Teaching Hospital. I mean, the whole day or this morning, the conversation has just been issues that affect... I'm going to give
you like 3 minutes on this, please.
I
actually didn't check my time. It's 9:50. We are going to close at 10, you know. Okay. So please, 3 minutes on this.
All this conversation borders around the well-being of we as a people. I said it on one of your sister stations that the NDC government is so much focused on theatrics.
Is it?
Yes, they are so much focused on theatrics. You have the Lands Minister cry on camera. Tomorrow you have the Health Minister go around with cameras because the patient had died in a hospital.
Why not?
Why should he go with cameras?
Why should
when there are matters of confidentiality of a patient? When the health law speaks about confidentiality of patients. So why? What was the need for the camera?
Okay.
Is it an agenda to sack the CEO who was appointed by the previous government and bring in your parliamentary candidate?
That wasn't the first time. That was not the first visit he had made.
So why this staged visit, Miriam?
No, but why not? Because between you and I, you know that system.
When you have a clear conscience, nobody will fault you. You see, Miriam.
Why shouldn't the Minister of Health go on unannounced visits to these hospitals that have problems, issues? Why not?
Nobody has a contention with the minister.
Right.
Going on an unannounced visit. Yeah. At the end of the day, it helps to know that whether the people in there are working or otherwise.
Absolutely.
You go there, have confrontation with doctors. You, Honorable Minta Akando, has no health background. You go there, have confrontations with doctors who are risking their lives to save patients. As if that was not enough. Fine, you find incompetence around the CEO, and so there is a dismissal. First off, you see, our politicians always do not learn. There is a precedence to this matter. And in the same Tamale Teaching Hospital, when the NPP sacked the former CEO, he took the matter to court and he won. Because there are processes that must be followed in dismissing the CEO.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that when the minister left the Tamale Teaching Hospital, that incident that occurred during the day and then the afternoon, and by 5 p.m. there was a circulation of a new appointed CEO? You see, the problem of the NDC today is always just about the theatrics, and that is where we find some of these challenges that they are facing in their government today. Because what am I saying? I'm saying that you may have been right, you may have your power in sacking the CEO. I mean, it is within your right to fire or to employ somebody. But in dispensing that power, you must do it in conformity with the laws.
Okay.
They were needing these machines. So the minister goes to donate these machines to the hospitals. So why were they keeping those machines for God knows how long? Why?
The minister is just 4 months in
in 4 months, they have passed the Gold Board Act.
Okay.
In 4 months, they have revoked e-levy. In 4 months, they have done the informers, they can't solve galamsey. When it is anything bad,
he's on a journey to.
When it is anything bad, the time is not enough. But when informers, they have passed the Good Board Act. So what are we talking about with the 4 months not being enough? The 4 months is enough for any serious government. Informers having their lunch power distribution for pre-tertiary students. Isn't that 4 months? So what are we talking about that? Just 4 months. 4 months is enough time for any serious government to bring what that the people deserve. And so let's stop the politics of just 4 months.
I was just giving you that. I was hoping it would help, but it doesn't help, Mr. Acheisu. Please, your take on this.
Before I speak on this, I just want to state, and I want to borrow the word George Opayado. He said that courage is not the one who shouts, it's the one who gets the job done. Without any.
He went to shout loud, by the way.
And this courage is what I said by Abu Akando. You know, before he went to Tamale, he had been to Rage. The Rage, you're sitting and say, oh, to Accra Regional Hospital, what Muhammad did over there, exquisite. But he went there and what he saw was an. But this is not of Kando. Kando was the when he was a ranking member on health. And around that time, they even didn't want him to enter this. He's not a minister whatsoever. And so he traveled to Tamale. And what he saw in Tamale, again, and I was so sad that he make mention of a patient as a mere normal thing.
I don't think that's what he meant.
That's not what I meant.
That is what he made it look like. Right? He said just because somebody, just because, do you know how human was? And so he goes there and this is death that was supposed that caused by sheer negligence by people that are supposed to be ensuring people's health care.
Because we were not there.
Yeah, but I mean, from the conversation, and the that says that ventilators are not working. I would have been happy and be on the side of the doctors if these ventilators said, oh, but we have reported to our CEO. Made mention of it to the minister or the health director of the region that are these things and it has not been to washrooms and is an thing that human has, although he has to deliver his effectively and professionally, he still has some subtlety in him. He has emotions to express. And upon going to the bathroom where even on camera he couldn't enter like that, he had to enter with nose masks. You tell me, right, to question why some of these things minister is something to go by. His Excellency Ramani Mahama, we didn't last a forum for ministers and government appointees. He told them, appointed to occupy spaces. You have been appointed to get the work done. And that is what is doing. Not all ministers will even see some of this, then pay and follow suit. He goes and upon some of these things, these people still have the effort to exchange words with him. What they could have done was just even listening more, and having to even discuss the issues. But minister without even involved. This is gross disrespect.
Somebody said that listening to a minister who has a health background to teach him how to.
When he made mention that the minister has no background, that is how I'm able to see how we think. To a managing director or CEO, health background. You see, these people are trained to take care of patients. They are trained with the various within their immediate. But for a management of a hospital of a somebody that put background, you get what I mean? So what on our coming the day after? It is not because they need the and been there sent them. No, he upon visiting, that is when he got to know that this item that these people because now the communique suggested that they had mentioned. You see, they released letters that we are on strike, and they couldn't even mention that these things are not working, and they have needed it and he didn't provide it. And I'm even that these things they have. Some of them have other private institutions to be available. And these are things that we need to see that they are stopping. And that is why, in earnest, he has ventilators, about 6 or 8 ventilators to go to Tamale. So many items, what millions of Ghana hospital. Now you do not have any together. You need to deliver. Theo, he has demonstrated gross incompetence. And he's not going home. He's still with the Ghana Health Service. He's still to lead a yeah. So I think that. But also quickly, this week is going to be a very good week because the Secretary John Mahama has 3 main projects. Yes, right?
Because he was a timekeeper and
he would have the time to. I decided to get. He he's launching 3 campaign promises. Okay. The first one is the Jumawura happened today in Kumasi, and is that 10 given support.
You can hear the sound.
Yes, and then the second one is the which is going to see that young people are going to train in various sectors that are very, very important. And then the third one is the Mahama Cares.
We got to hear about the market. Thank you so much.
I also want to say that the executive of the new president on their thank you. I would want to tell all parties that the social media wrangles on who is saying what and who is not saying what.
We have
the power to recapture in 2028. We have a power to recapture in 2028. How the NDC has started, if we work on our internal wrangles and we solve our internal battles, it will be easier for us to recapture power.
These people are only interested in winning, but they are not interested in selling that. We are talking about Mahama Cares, the Jumawura, that is going to give power.
It's been a great conversation right here on the platform. It's good to see you two gentlemen. Enjoy your wonderful. Let's stay on course and let's keep being amazing Ghanaians. Have a good morning.